Hi everyone, welcome back to Sparkle with Alicia. Today we will be reading Chapter 4 of Stella Bat's Broken Birthday. Let's start. Chapter 4 More Bad Things. Miss Finkel had all the kids except me go across the hall to the other third grade class, Mrs. Bauer's class. I heard Joshua complaining about it because he wanted to wait for the ambulance people to arrive. But my leg hurt so much I didn't even care about what Joshua said. Mom stayed by me, except when she went to the front of the room to get paper towels to wipe the throw up off my shirt. Miss Finkel went out the hall to show the paramedics in. I didn't know I was going to be sick. I wailed. Sometimes when something hurts a lot, it can make you throw up. It does hurt, I said. I know, baby. Is my leg broken? I cried. Probably so, Mom said. She was holding my hand tight with one hand, stroking my hair with the other. Don't look, she said. Does it look really awful? It'll be okay. What if it's not? I asked. What if it never is okay in my whole entire life? Of course it will be okay, Mom said. Her voice was shaky, so I knew she was scared too. A few minutes later, Miss Finkel came back in, along with two paramedics. They told me their names, but it was hard to listen because I was too busy being scared and hurting a lot. Plus, I was embarrassed again. This time because there was still throw up on my shirt. I didn't want them to see my shirt. I don't want them to see my shirt, I whispered to Mom. Don't worry, she said. They deal with medical emergencies all the time. They've seen much worse. Since I couldn't walk, they put me on a stretcher and carried me out. Even moving an eensy-weensy tiny bit made my leg hurt worse. Mom climbed into the ambulance with me. I was mostly crying, but in between I said, I can't hear the sirens. We turn them on when we need them. One of the paramedics told me, but when I stopped, I guess maybe there was a red light up ahead or something. I couldn't see since I was laying down in the back with no windows. There was the whoop whoop siren sound, and we started moving again. It didn't take very long to get to the emergency room of Somers General Hospital. I started laying down as the paramedic pulled me out of the ambulance. Mom was right by my side, jogging to keep up as they rushed me in. I was transferred into a new bed. Ow, 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 I cried again, because every time they moved me, it hurt. When I looked around, I saw 3 other kids in beds around the room. 2 of them were also crying, and their parents were in chairs next to their beds, like Mom was right next to mine. But the 3rd kid wasn't crying at all, and the chair next to her was empty. I guess she wasn't hurt too badly. She didn't look hurt at all. As a matter of fact, she looked perfectly healthy and well. I wished I had whatever she had instead of what I did have. I would have clicked my heels together to make the wish, but I couldn't move my leg. Just then, a woman came by with a needle in her hand. I tried to scoop back in bed away from her, but it's hard to scoop back when you have a probably broken leg, and I cried out again. Hi, Stella, I'm Patricia, the woman said. I'm a nurse at Somers General, and I'm going to put in an IV. That'll help you with your pain, okay? Okay? No, it's not okay, I said. No IVs and no needles. Please, Mom, don't let her give me any needles. I'm sorry, Stella. Mom said, but I think you need it. You do need it, Patricia agrees. We need to hook up an IV. We need to hook up an IV and get some pain medication into you. I bet that her leg hurts a lot, doesn't it? I nodded miserably. Just thinking about how much my leg hurt made it hurt even more. The needle only goes in for a couple of seconds, so I can pass something called a catheter through it, Patricia said. The catheter will deliver your pain and meds to make your leg feel better. As soon as the catheter is in, I'll take the needle out. That doesn't sound so bad, Mom said. He looked at the needle and catheter in Patricia's hand. The needle looked just like you'd expect a needle to look. The catheter was white and about the same size, about the same width as one strand of a pull and peel Twizzler. I've always liked Twizzler, but right then I wasn't sure if I'd ever eat one again. I'll make you a deal, Patricia went on. You can pick any arm. We can pick which arm we used. Any arm you want. I looked at Mom's shoulder. Any arm I want? I asked. A deal is a deal, Patricia said. All right. I reached a hand toward Patricia and grabbed her arm. This one. They're very funny, she said. I wasn't trying to be funny. Even if the needle was for a couple of seconds, it was still a needle. I didn't want it. It's my birthday observed, I said to Mom. Oh, Stella, Mom said. I'd give you my arm. But unfortunately, you're going to have to take the needle yourself. The faster you give Patricia your arm, the faster this part is over with. I was so busy worrying about my shot that I didn't see the girl come over. The same girl who hadn't been crying. She didn't come over alone. She had a pole with her. The pole had wheels, so she wheeled it over to my bedside. There was a long, thin tube hanging from the pole. The other end of it was attached to an IV in her hand. Camille, what are you doing here? Patricia asked. I wanted to tell her it wasn't going to hurt that much, the girl said. Did you hear that, Stella? Mom said. I didn't hear it, but I didn't really believe it. Thank you for letting us know, Mom told her. Patricia said she'd walk Camille back to her own bed. I watched her walk across the room with Camille. Then she walked back to Mom and me. She changed her gloves and picked up the needle again. No, I said. Please, no. Close your eyes, Patricia said. I'll be done before you know it. Mom, I asked. I'll be right here, Stella, Mom said. Close your eyes. Mom held me. I could feel Patricia tied a rubber thing around my left arm. Then she rubbed a spot on my arm with an alcohol wipe. There was a prick. Ow, I said. Almost done, Patricia said. There, Mom said. You're okay. I opened my eyes. She was putting some tape on my arm to keep the catheter in place. Even if it wasn't technically a needle, it was still poked out of my skin, just the way a needle would. To be honest, it didn't really hurt, but I was still sad about it. Across the way, I saw Camille watching me. She gave a little smile. I turned back to Mom. After that, Patricia got a portable X-ray to take a picture of my leg and make sure that it was broken. She handed Mom a bunch of forms to fill out. A doctor will be with you soon, she said. Then she left to talk to other people. I was starting to feel sleepy, even though it was the middle of the day. I closed my eyes, and I didn't know how much time passed. Maybe a few minutes, maybe an hour. When I opened my eyes again, Mom was sitting there in the exact same spot, but she wasn't holding the forms anymore. Did the doctor come? I asked. Not yet, sweetie. Patricia said the doctor will be here soon, I reminded her. I'm sure the doctors have a lot of patients to get to. Mom said, Isn't this an emergency? I asked. Mom nodded. I can go ask the nurse. No, don't leave me. So we waited some more. Finally, a woman arrived. Hello, I'm Dr. Marconi. She said. She turned to me. You must be Stella. Yes, I said. She pulled a curtain around my bed for privacy. Then she stuck some X-ray pictures on a light board. Well, Stella, she said, you certainly did a good job breaking your leg. I didn't do it on purpose, I told her. Of course not, she said. She pointed to some of the jaggedy edges on the X-ray picture. She said something about a compound fracture of my left tibia, whatever that meant. It was all confusing. Mom nodded like she understood. It was hard to ask what all the words meant. Outside the curtain, I heard someone say, Excuse me, I'm looking for my daughter. That made me feel more awake. Daddy? Daddy! I cried. The doctor pulled the curtain back open, and Dad came to my side. Mom was already holding my right hand. Dad reached for my left, but he had to hold it very carefully because that was the arm with the IV in it. Don't you have to work because Stuart's not there? I asked. Jessica and Claire are taking care of the store, he said, naming 2 more people who worked at Bat's Confections. I have to be with you. What about Penny and Marco? I said. Don't. Mr. Miller is with them. Dad said, Don't worry. What about you? How are you? Scared, I told him. And just saying that word made my eyes tear up an eensy-weensy bit again. There's no need to be scared, Dr. Marconi said. Do you know how many dozens of kids come in here with broken tibias? I've fixed all of them up, as good as new. You'll get an operation, and an operation? I broke in. I don't want an operation. I'm afraid you need one, said Dr. Marconi said. You'll stay here for a couple of days, but don't worry. But I can't stay here for a couple of days, I said. I'm broken tomorrow. I have to go to Pennsylvania tomorrow. Mom, Dad, and Dr. Marconi shared look with each other across my bed. The kind of looks grown-ups give each other when they think kids are too young to understand what's going on. How about you just give me a cast like other people get? And maybe crutches too. Crutches will be fun to show Willa. I think that's a good plan. My leg isn't even hurting so much anymore. The medication in the IV is why your leg doesn't hurt anymore, the doctor said. That's what Patricia said, Mom reminded me gently. But can't we try a cast in crutches? I asked. If I still need an operation, we can do it after I get back from Pennsylvania. That'll be on Tuesday. The grown-ups gave each other more looks above my head, but even they thought I was too young. I knew exactly what was going on. Oh no, I cried. My birthday was ruined. My birthday is ruined. We're going to stop right there. Bye.